I want to do a quick video on how to use dynamic prompts to really generate a lot of different variants of a particular prompt. So here, we're going to try and generate a red, green, and blue monster. So basically my prompt is just red, green, blue monster. Let's add like cropped head, frame, or something like that as negative prompt. And then let's hit generate, see what happens. So you'll notice we're getting blue monster, and that's the prompt that's used here. So let's say we hit generate again. Now it should give us a green monster. That's kind of fun. But we can also just go down to dynamic prompts and do combinatorial generation, and if you do that, it should generate all of them at once. Let's see. Cool. These are kind of fun monsters. The other cool thing we can do here is we can, have other characteristics. So we can say hairy. What else can monsters be? Round, car-shaped. I don't know if this is gonna work, but let's see what it does. So now you should get every possible combination of the two, which in this case should be 9 different possibilities, as you see. So you get, I guess my batch size is only 8 and I can't go higher than 8, so we'll get 8, but that's fine. So what you should get is you should get a red hairy, a red round, a red car-shaped, and then it's going to do another batch to get the 9th one, since it can only do 8 in a batch. So let's look at all of them. Hey, that's kind of fun. So we get a car, essentially. We get a hairy monster here. We get a round-ish monster here. That's super fun. So yeah, it's a really great way to experiment with different prompts, and either if you're trying to get to find the right prompt for you, or if you just want to generate a whole bunch of images. Like I've used it quite a bit to generate a whole bunch of images all at once, and not have to run multiple generations. So here we have another generation here. Now I'm going to show you how to use wildcards. So wildcards essentially collections of pieces of text, right? So rather than writing red, green, blue, what you could do is you could create a list of like colors, and you could have like 20 or 100 colors, and then using a particular token to refer to that list, the wildcard file, you can essentially cycle through those. One of the most common use cases for this is actually artists. So if we go look at this, and you see that it comes with a bunch of wildcards already. This extension, dynamic prompts. So here you can see, you go into illustrations, and there's like children's books and whatnot, and within that you see a lot of different like nationalities of artists, and then you can see like European art, etc. So let's actually try to use this now. So what we do is we type something like this. So you put in curly braces, you type in the name of the file of the wildcard. So here I'm going to do a children's book illustration of the monster prompt that we had earlier. So I'm going to get rid of this. We'll go back to just a hairy monster, and to isolate just the wildcard, I'm going to do a red hairy monster, but this is going to be different every single time. Let's hit generate and see what happens. So now, if we click to the image and we look at the prompt, you see that this is a children's book illustration by Claudia Ruda. I don't know, but I guess they're a children's book illustration. So if you hit generate again, now we'll cycle through and find a different random artist. So we click this. Actually, it stays on Claudia Ruda. That's interesting. I don't know why I did that, but now you see a different artist. So every time you hit generate, it should see a different artist. How do you get this to generate multiple, different styles? So you can generate a whole bunch and then pick one of them. So if you do increase your batch size to 8, now I believe what it should do is it should generate 8 different illustrations by 8 different artists. And then, once you find someone you like, you can like generate more with that person. So let's see what this looks like. I kind of like this one. That seems really fun, actually. I wonder who that is. So if we click through, yeah, so you see that it's different artists. This one's Stephen Kellogg. So let's try that. So you see that it's in a bunch of different styles. This is kind of fun too. Now if I do like Stephen Kellogg, it should give me 8 of just Stephen Kellogg. And this is kind of fun. This one looks quite like Elmo. That's pretty neat. So all of these are illustrations in a fairly similar style, as you can see. You know, the colors and the style of the monster is fairly similar. So another cool thing you can actually do is you could do you know, multiple artists and see what that ends up generating. So let's just do a batch of 1 to see what that ends up looking like. So now you see that this is by Leslie Gordon and Aggie Lam. And if you do it again, it should give you 2 other random artists. And as we saw, you know, there's also like Baroque artists and stuff here. So an interesting thing you could do is you could do that. And it'll end up with something pretty interesting, maybe. Oh, that's cool. So yeah, you can do a lot of fun experiments with this. I think the biggest use case I've found for this is just to find a consistent style. Let's say you're designing something or you're generating images for like a project, and you want to have all of those images be sort of consistent. One way to achieve that consistency is by using, you know, artist names, and this helps you find styles that are interesting. So yeah, you get some really fun, sophisticated things that look very unique and different. I like this one. I like this one quite a bit. So let's say we take this, and we can go back and do the red, blue, green, yellow combinations. And now I need to go back and enable combinatorial generation. So this should generate 4 different hairy monsters, but with sort of a consistent style. And of course, Stable Diffusion, you know, is prompting is very susceptible to minor changes in words, and whatever images it's trained on tend to also modify the subject. So, you know, if one person always draws a particular kind of monster, you know, no matter how much you prompt for something that looks like the Loch Ness Monster, you might never get it because the artist's style is just so different. But, you know, this is a fun way to experiment different. So if you're looking for more suggestions on what to do with the dynamic prompts, you know, it has plenty of features. Check out this tutorial that I'll link below. It is a little hard to follow sometimes, but it is super useful, and once you get it, it can be very helpful for your workflow with Stable Diffusion. So yeah, check out this link, and the extension itself, SD Dynamic Prompt, should be pretty easy to install from this GitHub page, just following the instructions, as you can see here. And yeah, that's it for now.